Sports Wars, Geeks and Gamers community, what's up? It's your boy Pat, aka the Mayor. Even though I'm rocking some polo and some Met stuff, I have a very New York feel today, but it is what it is. Um, Small handful of things I want to speak to y'all about. This week we're taking a little bit of a hiatus from the podcast because, as you know, Christmas is next week, holiday season, real busy. And myself personally, I've been working crazy hours at work. I do work in the retail industry, so you can use your imagination. Um, but yeah, it's just been a real hectic couple of days in terms of news and happenings within the NFL, and I just want to cover a handful of things with you guys. I won't take too much of your time. You know, we kind of been hitting our stride with these shorter videos. You know, you guys seem to be responding to them, liking them. So we're going to be experimenting with some different things and some new formats moving forward. But in any case, let me go ahead and get right into it. Josh Gordon. I can understand how people are cynical about the situation, how people are, quick to kind of assume the worst, so to speak. Like, I can see that angle of it, but at the same time, I personally don't. I'm not in that camp. My camp is the one in this particular situation of compassion, of trying to be understanding, and of putting the human being, the person Josh Gordon, before who and what he is as a football player, because ultimately his welfare and his well-being as an individual is far more important than the box score and X's and O's and all of that. As much as we love football, as much as this channel is dedicated to sports, at the end of the day, sports is just entertainment. It doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. And in terms of someone who is struggling with addiction and struggling with mental health, like it goes without saying that that's more significant and more important. There's also the added layer, and some of my colleagues, my team, they kind of wanted me to speak on this for obvious reasons. Mental health is something that is very stigmatized within the black community and has been spanning generations. It has taken a Herculean effort within probably the last 10 to 15 years to shift that paradigm to where it's something that isn't just callously disregarded and dismissed and not taken as seriously as it should, because one, it is a real tangible problem. Mental health is literally a chemical imbalance up here. So it's not just a figment of your imagination. It's not something that's made up. It is tangible, and it does affect your health through and through. And just from a cultural standpoint, like I say, within the black community, to a lesser degree within the Latino community, for whatever reason, it historically isn't something that has been taken as seriously as it should be. And even with the progress that has been made, we got a long way to go before people who generally need the help can get it without shame, without ridicule, without having to, hide the things that they're struggling with. Speaking personally, I dealt with what could be considered a mild case of depression years back before I relocated back home. And at the time, I didn't really know how to react to it, and I didn't talk about it or express it, outwardly until I was already making the active changes to, get away from that point. So yeah, in any case, as far as it pertains to Patriots football, Gordon was the one cat they had that could really take the top off the defense and be the deep threat, because as we know, they traded Brandon Cooks. As far as the rest of that receiving core goes, it's not looking too hot right now. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't say that from a standpoint of someone who historically doesn't really care for New England. It's pretty well documented. I don't really root for them or like them, but objectively speaking, as a guy who knows the game, watches the game, can pinpoint, analyze all the little nuances of what's going on. Edelman, I don't believe, is 100% healthy from his ACL injury. Gronk, physically, his age is 29, but physically he's 40. All the injuries and just all the beating that he's taken, all the beatings that he's taken over the years, it's looking like it's really caught up to him. He doesn't have the burst off the line of scrimmage he used to. He doesn't have the inhuman agility for a guy of that size that he used to. Like, it's getting routine for safeties on the other team to guard him one-on-one and lock him up. Like, when's the last time you saw somebody guard Gronk one-on-one when Gronk was healthy and legitimately hold him out. Eric Berry last year, the year before that, it took a combination of Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas to keep him out of the game. And when that happened, Martellus Bennett just went off. And then you have Chris Hogan, who, for all intents and purposes, has disappeared, and Philip Dorsett, a guy that Indy actively let go of, and now T.Y. Hilton and a bunch of quote-unquote no-names are out there just lighting it up with a healthy Andrew Luck. Unless the Patriots' run game can really just carry the load for them, it's going to be rough. And I actually have the Houston Texans winning in what some are considering an upset in Philly, which means that it's going to be damn near impossible for New England to get a bye, which means they play on Wild Card weekend, and historically speaking, that doesn't fare well for them to get to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, AFC continues to be the roller coaster mess that it has been all season long, unless you are in Kansas City or Los Angeles. Not San Diego. I know you guys want to say San Diego, but they are in LA. Moving along to the NFC. What's the deal with people not taking the Bears seriously? Can anyone give me some insight into that? Like, do we honestly think they're going to be a one and done after winning the NFC North? Obviously, we know Mitchell Trubisky is a quarterback who's limited. He's not going to make the throws that Patrick Mahomes makes. But Matt Nagy is dialing up some stuff to get it functional. And obviously, that defense, top to bottom, many would agree that it's the best in the league. They are the driving force behind this team. And they got guys everywhere. It's not just Khalil Mack. Look up Akeem Hicks's stats and what he's been doing this year. You could talk to any offensive coordinator in the NFC North, in the NFC, hell, in the AFC. Not many people want anything to do with Akeem Hicks. That dude is an absolute beast. And we all know how much of a prodigy Roquan Smith is. Like, how good is Roquan Smith going to be when he develops further? Scary. Especially if your name is Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers. To kind of piggyback off of what my boy Roy was saying in his video, the Pro Bowl snub of Russell Wilson is fucking criminal. The Pro Bowl snub of Andrew Luck is egregious. Tom Brady having a Pro Bowl, having a 9-win season with, as I just spoke of, a pretty depleted skill set around him, I'm not super mad at that. I mean, I think to an extent it is based on legacy, but it doesn't upset me as much as Wilson not getting in. I do think Luck should have got in over Tom Brady, but he's number 12 in New England. I can kind of give that one a little bit of slack. And then the last thing I want to speak to you guys about is the increasing culture within sports and really within America in general of people saying and doing disrespectful, derogatory shit and expecting there not to be an active consequence. You can probably guess where I'm going with this. The recent story from LA of Marcus Peters hearing some fan, some jerk-off fan, saying something derogatory to him, we don't know what, and him going into the stands and checking dude. Like, sorry, I know it makes some of you guys uncomfortable. I know it makes a lot of you guys just cringe and be just, oh, well, you can't take their side. No, I don't care. I'm starting to take the player side more and more in these situations. This whole paradigm shift in culture of just saying whatever, thinking of the most blatantly disrespectful, insulting, out-of-pocket thing you can say or do to an athlete at a sporting event because you think it's going to get you attention, you're not only ruining the experience for the athlete, who is not a circus animal, who is a human being that deserves dignity and respect just like anyone else, you're also making it a shitty experience for everyone around you. Like, if you're just cussing up a storm, calling someone this, calling someone that, throwing out racial slurs, which we hear from people like Matt Barnes happens all the time at these sporting events, like, you have to have a huge ego, for one, to take a situation like that where people are paying good money to go and see a game and make it all about you and what you want to do and say to be edgy, to be counterculture, to be, that type of shit. and then turn around and think that there's not going to be any consequence, that you're just going to get off scot-free. No, a lot of these athletes are going to come into the stands and they're going to be very tempted to smack the shit out of you. And growing up the way that I did, coming from the era that I came from, you give respect, you get respect. You give disrespect, you get smacked in the mouth. Period. Like, I don't understand, like, oh, well, they make millions of dollars, so they have to, and for all intents and purposes, because they make millions of dollars, they're just supposed to sit there and take whatever disrespect someone has to dish out. That is such unbelievable bullshit to me. When I hear that, that lets me know that you've never been in a tense environment, that you've never been in a street environment, you've never had to have street smarts and sense and savvy and know how to operate and move in certain situations to avoid it going in a negative direction. That lets me know that you've never had to probably defend yourself, and you've never been checked for the things that you do and say. Essentially, that you've never been held accountable for your actions when you say shit like that. Sorry, no. This whole, kumbaya, peaceful utopia where you can just say and do whatever and you'll just get away with it scot-free. No. The things that take place on social media do not translate into real life. You say something spicy, somebody's going to slap the shit out of you sooner or later. That's just for reality. But that's pretty much all I got for y'all for now. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're into sports, obviously tell as many people as you can about the channel, and we'll catch you later. Peace.